Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you a shoutcast in Game 3 in a series between Stephano versus Polt. Game 3 taking place here on Metalopolis, and I forgot to turn this off. Alright, my apologies. Alright, so go ahead. Alright, so this is Game 3. Currently the series is tied at 1 game apiece, and I apologize if I'm casting these games out of order, as well the replays were uploaded out of order possibly. Now let's take a look in the game right now. Currently, if you guys are watching the games alongside me or with me, this is game 3 in a best of 3 or best of, I believe, 5. Stephano is currently tied with Polt at 1 game apiece, and we'll see how this will come down here on Metalopolis. Now, as of late, Terran players really haven't been able to, say, rush a Zerg player anytime recently. The games are generally a little bit longer, as a lot of Zerg players are really able to defend any early bio pushes. They're able to deal with a lot of a lot of Hellion harassment, as we are going to see a drone now come in from Stephano. Taking a look at Stephano's strategy in the previous 2 games has been to go for a 15 hatchery, and I think he will continue to do exactly that. Meanwhile, we'll see what Polt goes for. Polt currently getting up to 150 gas, and he is now building a second barracks off over here, so that is the true indication that Polt is trying to be very aggressive in this game. Stephano, however, taking a look around, no, he did not spot that, as now a new SCV is going to push away this one drone. The drone did not spot the gas, but perhaps the drone didn't even go over there long enough, as we're now going to see this drone make its way over. This is going to be some early pressure, and we'll see whether or not Stephano is going to react and respond to it well enough. Currently, we are going into a spawning pool now, but it's going to be quite some time before any Zerglings can be trained, or any queens, more importantly. Drone now holding the Zelnaga tower here. SCV is simply just going to walk by, as the Overlord, I believe, did the Overlord actually gain sight here? The Overlord, I think, actually gained sight and saw that there were no Vespene geysers. So because of that, he knows that this is going to be a very aggressive rush of some sort, and perhaps we will see a spine crawler or two. A spine crawler could be built down over here. Drones are now being pulled over already in order to deal with this one SCV building up the bunker. The bunker about a quarter of the way done, or a little bit more than a quarter, as the drones are now making their way in. Drones are coming off the mineral line. The drone does get taken down. There is a new SCV in this group, as a lot of drones are coming in. The drones are now chasing after this Marine. A little bit of Marine split micro may be enough here, as the 3rd Marine now joining in. Another Marine does get taken down, as a drone gets taken down. SCV now trying to run away. 2 Marines, with 4 Marines coming in momentarily. Zerglings now need to be added, but with 4 Zerglings already coming into play, with 6 Zerglings now already in play, I believe this rush will pretty much be easily handled. You can see that there are 3 Marines behind here right now trying to get some damage onto those Zerglings. The Zerglings are perhaps trying to finish off the SCV. The SCV does get taken down. So all this is a little bit of unnatural terrain right now for Polt, as a Marine and more Marines are still being added. It looks like a new SCV is being brought over, but as soon as that Queen is out, that Queen is going to be able to tank a lot of the damage that the Marines are going to be dealing. So I'm not exactly sure what's going to happen here, as a Marine trying to get up onto the high ground. The Marine now up on the high ground, and here we go. We have a surround. Marines and SCVs battling it out. The SCV does get taken out here. The Marine coming in from the backside, getting in a lot more damage as well. The one Marine on the high ground already has a couple kills, but this is not looking good, as this Marine stays alive at 1 hit point. Not exactly sure how this is going to work. This Marine on the high ground trying to offer some fire from the high ground. The Marines now need to be careful, as more and more Marines look like they will fall. A lot of Zerglings do go down here. It looks like this is the last stand for that Marine. And let's take a look at the Harvester count after all that was said and done. 19 harvesters for Polt. Stephano sitting at 15. Both players are up on 2 will be up on 2 bases momentarily, as the Marines are now still trying to clean this up from Stephano. And I like this play by Stephano. Stephano knows that any early Zerglings that he has needs to be used. Otherwise, they should have been trained as drones. So he is going to force a bit of pressure, and now for Polt back on the inside of his base. Marines are taking a lot of damage here. 1 Marine down. A 2nd Marine will get taken down, as the front door has been now completely walled off. and the Zerglings are going to try to destroy some supply depots here. It looks like the Zerglings are being microed away. The lower hit point Zerglings being pulled back. This is some brilliant or good, strong play. As you can see, Stephano so far has only absorbed damage on low hit point units. One Marine. Oh, the supply depot down to 30 hit points, 10 hit points, and it does go down. So now the front door is open, but there's not enough Zerglings to really come in from behind this. Stephano looking to get some scouting information, sees the sheer number of barracks, and now the double gas and also the orbital command lifting off. Harvester count is now 32 to 25. Stephano getting in 2 rounds of drones during that attack there. And we'll see what Polt tries to do. Polt may try to be a little bit more defensive. We are going into a tech lab and a reactor, or double reactor with a tech lab. So that's going to mean a lot of Marines. So far, Stephano has not really been utilizing Banelings, as I would like to see a Zerg player use them, especially against the sheer number of Marines and how Marine-centric Polt is. Stephano currently supply blocked at 44 over 44, and now finally getting up a new Overlord, quickly jumping already into 49 over 60. But that will hurt his production just a little as Stephano, and now looking to perhaps establish up a new base. No, gonna go simply for a Baneling's Nest. So the Baneling Nest now will be added. The Spine Crawler in a little bit of a curious position, but it does cover the entire ramp choke point here, knowing when exactly Marines try to slip by. Zerglings just now getting that metabolic boost, about halfway done. Baneling's Nest still about 25 seconds away. Stephano looking fairly confident. So far, he does have the larger army and a slightly stronger economy, but he does need to get a couple more rounds of drones in. The Zerglings now still running across on the far side of the map. You can see Stephano once again supply blocked at 60 over 60, as Marines are going to perhaps come across this group of Zerglings, and without metabolic boost, these Marines are going to have a very, very easy time with those Zerglings unless they do morph into Banelings. Banelings are now ready to go. We'll see where exactly they will be rallied to. 8 Banelings here, an additional 2 Banelings on the front door, as we now see a large group of Marines ready to push out. Zerglings are going to try to engage, and now engage straight up on creep. That is a lot of damage. The Marines, only one of them survives, as the units all back off here. What are these Banelings going to do? The Banelings are now going to try to test that front door, perhaps go straight into the mineral line. And we'll see what's going to happen here as the Marines are all just being surrounded here. The Banelings now going to walk over here, and now how much damage can be done? The Banelings, no, do not want to do any damage unless it is against those SCVs, as those Banelings do back off, and now in come a swarm of Zerglings once more. Stephano on slightly behind in terms of economy, but has a much larger army right now. Taking a look, only 12 Marines against the Banelings and the Zerglings of Stephano. Zerglings are now going to come in, easily get off some surrounds there, as we now see Marines now trying to make their way over. Banelings are in the back. Where are those Banelings going to go? The Banelings are now trying to make their way in. SCVs are all trying to run. Where are these units all going to fall? The front door does get broken down, and all these SCVs, this is looking really, really bad for Polt. What's going to happen here is the Banelings are now running their way inside this mineral line, and the mineral line, all of these SCVs are trying to split. SCVs are getting destroyed left and right, but the Banelings need to figure out where they want to attack to maximize their damage. It looks like one Baneling can detonate here, and nice takedown here. And Stephano is just being very careful, looking for where exactly they can go. And here we go. It looks like the rest of the Banelings will fall, but in comes some more Zerglings now from the front door. Front door trying to take down even more SCVs. Harvester count now 25 to 35. And if Stephano expands right behind us, which I believe he will and should, he should be in a very good situation in the mid-game. Stephano is at 46 food compared to 54. 24 SCVs compared to 31 drones. More Marines and Marauders are now being trained. Polt does have medevacs, but those medevacs currently with no energy on them. More Banelings going to be added. More Zerglings being added as well. We are going into evolution chambers, but no weapons upgrades as of yet. And Polt going to take this opportunity, knowing that he perhaps, or perhaps Stephano, knowing that Stephano wants to drone up as much as possible, and not going to be able to produce nearly as many units. Marines and Marauders still pushing forward here. Going to clean up all of these creep tumors. but there should still be a slight delay before Polt actually tries to push forward. Oh, the Spine Crawler not rooted in time. Here we go. Queen now engaging. Zergling's going to try to do a surround here. The Baneling's running straight forward. No, the Spine Crawler getting in a lot of damage. And that Spine Crawler at 15 hit points was able to deal a lot of damage to those Marauders and Marines. Perhaps the Zerglings and the Banelings need to once again re-engage. More Zerglings coming in. New Queen being trained as well. Zerglings now going straight up onto the high ground as the Banelings may be able to find their target here. A lot of Marines just going to get destroyed. No, a nice pickup there and unloading all of those units again. Zerglings able to handle this attack and now once again pull away as we see a new Queen being trained. 41 drones versus 34 SCVs. Stephano in a very good situation if he can maintain this economic advantage. He is now taking the tier 2. Polt is still training up a lot more units behind this, and I believe Polt can perhaps whittle away at his opponent as long as he tries to train out more SCVs. This is the difficult part for Zerg at this time. He wants to be able to train drones, but Polt is definitely not letting him drone up at all. No license to drone, and with that, even though he is or does have a third base, he has not been able to truly saturate it. 91 food versus 86. We'll see what's going to happen here as the Queen now coming in. The Queen able to snipe down one of those medevacs. Zerglings, Banelings trying to find their target. Marines looking like they are going to be able to run away a little bit further. There is stim on those Marines. And now the Zerglings have finished off more units once more. Stephano now up to 83 food, taking the opportunity to drone. Still has not gotten an inject onto there yet, as the Zerglings are looking to see where exactly they can actually deal some damage. And Polt currently unable to really do much of anything as the Zerglings now trying to finish off more Marines. The Marines are not upgraded though. Zerglings perhaps trying to test the front door, quickly finds a siege tank at the door and decides against it. Finally, Stephano gonna be laying down some creep tumors and also getting the second hatchery saturated. The medevacs so far a 94 to 86 food advantage, 52 drones versus 42 SCVs. Production does show an engineering bay, but a lot of Marines are being trained at this time, and Polt really utilizing a heavy Marine play even in the face of Zerglings. I believe that will change though once a movement speed upgrade on those Banelings are done. Marines now pushing forward. We'll see how this is all going to work out. The siege tanks going to perhaps try to cliff down here, and we're going to have an elevator drop. So a straight elevator drop. Polt answering the call and now going to go for a very, very strong attack here. We'll see what the Zerglings and Banelings are able to do. Marines are now simply pushing in the macro hatch, taking a lot of damage. Banelings are off over here. The siege tanks could get in some attacks as the siege tanks and now Banelings are making their way in. The Banelings should not have moved back. It looks like all the siege tanks are not going to go down. A couple of siege tanks are still left, but Stephano not doing a good trade there at all. Marines are nearby. Zerglings now need to be very careful. The rally point is actually hurting Stephano as the Marines are simply going to be able to stim forward, and Stephano going to lose perhaps this macro hatch. Siege tanks going to fall here. More reinforcements are still coming in, but the reinforcements are coming in much more quickly for Polt than they are for Stephano, and in a better location. Banelings now with movement speed, even on creep, unable to catch up to those Marines as the Marines had a nice head start there. The Marines now backing away. Is it going to be enough? Siege tanks detonating many of those Banelings once more as Polt needs to elevator up some more Marines. 6 Marines still being trained at a time. A squadron of 8 Marines looking to finish off the hatchery is able to do exactly that, as TSL's Polt now taking about a 25 food advantage, and this is only going to continue to grow. Level 1 weapons or level 2 weapons and armor upgrades about to finish on the Zerglings and the Banelings though, and the upgrades may be exactly what Stephano needs in order to do a nice counter-attack push. Zerglings now trying to find their target, gonna go and take down many of these siege tanks. Banelings are all going down. Zerglings taking a lot of focus fire from siege tanks just because the siege tanks do not have weapons upgrade. Banelings trying to find their target. No more siege tanks down on the low ground, save for one now reinforcing. And Polt just continuing with this very aggressive play. And it looks like Polt may finally get cleaned up here, but not before dealing a lot of damage to Stephano. Zerglings now gonna finish off the attack, and now Polt is retreating once more. The Marines, going after easy overlords, drones, and now Banelings trying to find their way in. It looks like a couple will get taken out. The medevacs now getting shooed away. And Polt on 2 bases, still doing a good job as we are now even in terms of harvesters. 46 to 47. Siege tanks still on the low ground as a group of 3 Marines looking to get more damage on these units. The Queen quickly gonna get sniped down by those Marines. Those Marines have level 1 weapons upgrade, even against the Queen with now 3 armor. It looks as though all those units are going to be trying to back off again. Orbital Command now going into what would normally be the gold mineral patches, but Polt. But apparently the MLG version has swapped these out for just the standard blues, and now taking the gold mineral patch. Not quite sure why. Perhaps there was a Zergling there preventing any sort of landing, as the Queen does get taken out. Constant attacking back and forth. Zerglings trying to get into position, and really Polt with this with these siege tanks on the low ground, causing problems for Stephano. We'll see what Stephano is going to do. Currently getting up even more Zerglings, and this is where Terran has a very easy time now, just because he has the number of reactors. A lot of Terran players really going into heavy reactor play for exactly this reason. Even going up against a 5 hatchery Zerg, those reactors are really helping out. And didn't even really realize this command center was lifted off for this command center here, so he didn't even have time to build a third, just moving his primary, which means that he still has gas in his main to harvest. Zerglings now looking to finish or clean up some of the SCVs here in the mineral line. SCVs are going down rather quickly, as the SCVs dealing a lot of damage. 37 workers already killed, 32 versus 46 drones. But the Marines still dancing in the main base, going back and forth as more and more drones are getting taken out. Zerglings now making their way over, and really the key problem here has been Stephano has not been able to transition into Mutalisk in order to deal with those medevacs. The siege tanks are now going to start to lift up onto the high ground as well, and the siege tanks going to cause even more problems once more. Zerglings looking to clean up some more SCVs in the center expansion again, but it looks like the Marines are going to be coming back, and now a lot more SCVs getting destroyed. Harvester count now 28 to 41, but Stephano has not been able to truly macro up. That ball of Banelings just getting destroyed, and that was a lot of resources lost. So many Marines try to dance back and forth, and now Baneling's gonna perhaps take down that siege tank. Another siege tank blast, take out even more. But so far, Polt's aggression is really starting to pay off, as the Marines are in a very defensive posture here. Really no way to get any true surround on these Marines. And all of these Zerglings, if they try to come down the ramp, will simply get destroyed again. 79 food versus 91. Polt could easily just stim and attack straight into this hatchery here. Marines taking down Banelings as they're trying to roll down the ramp. One Baneling finds its target, but not enough to really clear this squadron of Marines, or the platoon of Marines, as the Marines now back off again. 7 medevacs in the air, only 2 of them with energy. A new siege tank being brought forth once more. Stephano still, even though the losses are about a 10,000 difference in terms of the overall losses in the game, but Stephano has consistently been harvesting more and more resources than his opponent. The problem is that he hasn't been able to truly macro up, and Polt just using, even though the Marines are not as upgraded as those Zerglings, able to just exchange very well with the help of siege tanks. Queen now trying to make its way over. It gets quickly shot down. Zergling's going to finish off some more siege tanks here. Down they go. And just Marine after Marine falling. And we'll see what will be happening here in just a moment, as the Marines are now looking to perhaps get some damage and take down a key tech building. Spawning pool looks like it will fall. Stephano needs to rebuild one. He does not have any other additional buildings. Now rebuilding the spawning pool, not realizing he already has a new Baneling's nest. Zerglings looking to finish off this orbital command, but the Marines will get there in time. The orbital command not even on fire, as the Marines are now looking to finish off the hatchery here. Battling it out back and forth. The siege tank gets destroyed before it really gets into siege mode. Polt now looking a little bit, or looking really strong, as he has 2 upgrades finally caught up in terms of upgrades on his Marines. And it's just going to be a matter of time before Stephano does have to say GG. Drones are now trying to be transferred off to the 12 o'clock position, but his 2 key tech buildings the spawning pool and the Baneling's nest will both fall. Marines already here, 28 Zerglings now being trained, but the spawning pool and the Baneling's nest will get destroyed in just a matter of seconds. And I believe Stephano will have to say GG, as Polt being very aggressive here on Metalopolis and taking a distinctive lead now with over or almost double the food count. The game does feel like it's already in the bag for Polt, and there's not much Stephano can really do. Marines now finally going to finish off the last layer here. We are down to two, and apparently Stephano did not like the outcome of that game. Just very, very upset with himself. It really felt like he had a lot of advantages, but indecisiveness with his Banelings, allowing siege tanks to get off a lot more blasts, was perhaps the issue. Losing those Banelings and not being able to at least deal some damage to a siege tank was perhaps the beginning of the end. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Stay tuned to Game 4.